Hello, this is Dinah Lane of Harwich Channel 18, and I'm here right now with Cheryl Barnes of the Harwich Fund. She is a board member and very, very active on the Harwich Fund, and we want to just check in with her about exactly what it is the Harwich Fund does first. Hello, Cheryl.
Good morning, Dinah. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be able to tell people and you about the Harwich Fund. We started about 2020, the spring of 2020, during the pandemic.
Yes.
Because we noticed that there were some grave needs in Harwich. A lot of people did not have jobs, children couldn't go to school, offices were closing, people couldn't work, food was not as readily available, and there was general chaos because we didn't know what the rules were, we didn't have vaccinations, and we didn't know how to behave, especially since there was no school, no retail, no restaurants, no daily living as we know it. So, four of us, core members of the Harwich Fund, Brian Scheld is our chairman, Rich Cogan, Bonnie Scott, and me, Cheryl Barnes, we decided to form a foundation. And there are 4 town funds on the Cape. And we're under the umbrella of the Cape Cod Foundation. So there is the Chatham Fund, the Harwich Fund, the Falmouth Fund, and the Sandwich Fund. And we are town funds dedicated to helping the needs of our communities. So our motto is Harwich Helping Harwich. Our fund only helps Harwich people, places, and things. So if there is a broader not-for-profit with needs, which they all have needs, we all have needs, we tend to only go to Harwich-based not-for-profits, and we give money. We will give a grant. So they make a request because they are located in Harwich and they deal with Harwich needs. So then we will give a grant. So
Can you tell me a little bit about what the application process is for getting a grant?
well, that's interesting because heretofore, because all of us are fairly new, the 4 of us, the core members, are fairly new to Cape Cod, we really didn't understand the needs and we really didn't understand which not-for-profits were helping Harwich people, places, and things. And so we had to start from scratch. It was like reinventing the wheel. And we had to figure out how we could help immediately during the pandemic. There were so many needs. So back then, we were just looking around at not-for-profits and saying, what do you do? Do you have any needs? And lo and behold, we found them. But just now, we haven't even started, but for the first time, we've been giving out grants since 2020. But for the first time this fall, we are going to join the application process one time a year through the Cape Cod Foundation. So everybody, all not-for-profits, submit applications expressing their needs and how much they want and why they want it. What is this for? What is the purpose? And then we will go through them in allocating the grant money. We are very limited in our money because we just started 2 years ago and it was during a pandemic, so we couldn't really even get out there.
Right. So speaking of which, we always need donors, right? So in order to donate to the fund, does one go through the Cape Cod Foundation and designate that one wants it to go to the Harwich Fund? Is that the process?
Yes.
Okay.
We are desperately looking for donors. So if you are interested in donating, you can go to harwichfund.org, and there's an application there, or you can go to capecodfoundation.org. And what we are doing is we are saying every dollar counts, of course, Right now, we currently have about 90 donors, but we are looking very much for what we call the level of philanthropist, and that is $5,000 or more. And you can donate that $5,000 or more in a series of ways. You can pledge up to, you can pledge your amount over time. So breaking it up, you can do a one-time, you can do a two-time, you can do it any different way. But that would be the best thing for us because there's so many needs.
To be assured of a regular amount coming in.
Yes.
It's a very good, a monthly donation or a
annual,
semi-annual.
$500 or $1,000 or
Yep.
whatever. We are very grateful for every dollar, though.
Well, I know you, there was a wonderful event, actually, at the director's house, Brian Scheld, right?
Yes.
To thank the donors and also to highlight some of the grantees. Can you tell us a little bit about the grantees that you have?
Yes, we
been able to
recently
help?
had a lovely party at Brian Sheld's house. We were always grateful when the weather helps, and it was cooperative. But several of our grantees were there. And one of them, Sheila House is a therapist counselor in Harwich. And she was there speaking about some of the grants we have made to help local children specifically. We have been making winter coats and boots or outer clothing to children since we started. We were astonished at the need. It has doubled since we started in the holiday season of 2020. It has doubled since then, the need. So last year, last December, we gave $1,500, which helped coats and boots for kids. And another grant we made that really warms our hearts was instruments for fourth graders.
That's right.
That we just loved it. Unbeknownst to us, there are children in fourth grade when they're first offered instrument lessons who cannot afford the rental. The rental is pretty expensive. And so the principal said that that was the need that they had. And we stepped up and gave enough money so that any child in fourth grade who wanted to rent an instrument could. And then a couple of us went to the recital at the end of the year, and it was the most heartwarming
Must have been
occasion.
Very gratifying.
We've also helped the Council on Aging during COVID. There was some, we provided a 10 weekly installments on Zoom for seniors on how to get their services, because remember back when the pandemic started, we didn't go out. We didn't know how to get places, how to get things. So these were 10 weekly sessions for them. And we have covered the gamut from providing toys and kits for preschoolers so that they could do at-home Zoom engineering, science, and artistic endeavors. We have helped with a 10-week program for the high school for addiction prevention. And that is a peer-to-peer program open to all high school students in looking for the signs of alcohol, smoking, heroin, drug abuse, all that from people, from counselors, certified therapists, and peers who have been through it.
It's a wonderful program. Yes,
Yes.
I've heard a good bit about that. So it sounds as if the Harwich Fund has really filled a niche in certain areas that other really wonderful philanthropic organizations have not been able to.
Yes.
Some of these things are very specific and slightly different than.
Well,
than
I would
the
like
usual.
to
Yeah.
touch on that. We do not give to individual people or families. We
Right.
only give to not-for-profits. And we do like to know exactly what it is. We don't just give a check.
For a specific program.
It's for a program
Yes.
or a project.
Yes.
So, for instance, we recently gave $4,500 to the Habitat for Humanity, which is a nationwide not-for-profit, and it certainly is very busy here on the Cape. So we wanted to know what we could do to help Harwich Habitat for Humanity builds. There are 3 homes that just went up in West Harwich, and they said, well, we have so many needs, and, if you just could send us a check. We said, no, we'd rather have a project. What is it specifically? So we ended up buying appliances for those homes. A few appliances for each home, the same.
I see.
So that was very gratifying.
Yes, yes. So it is something that others are not necessarily addressing directly, and it's all good.
It's all
all
good.
good.
It gives us a good feeling, it gives them a good feeling, and we
And
are
much
inviting
needed, yeah.
everybody to please find out more about us and please donate. We are just giving it away.
And it's the Cape Cod
Foundation.org
or the
specific-
Harwich Fund
.org.
Yes. Okay.
Or you can contact me, Cheryl O. Barnes at gmail.com.
Okay, so those are different ways that people can give. It's great to know more about the Harwich Fund, and thank you so much, Cheryl. Really enjoyed your speaking about the Harwich Fund again.
Thank you for having me.
Yep, it sounds like you've come a long way since the beginning, which is just a few years.
Yes.
And a long way to go, of course.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so again, this is Dinah Lane for Channel 18. Thank you so much.